Caleb can, but
maybe Caleb can. I would actually check that, Caleb.
Where's the magic website where you can actually order specific parts like that?
It's called Lego.com.
Yeah, on the Lego website.
You click on Help, Replacement Parts, and Pick a Brick.
Well, welcome everybody to Push to Talk. By the way, you join us in the middle of Horrendous trying to procure very specialized Lego parts from somebody much closer to the actual Lego factory than he is.
I need 6 pieces to finish this build.
Yeah, it is.
When I do, you guys will agree these 6 pieces are worth it.
I think it definitely will be. It is Saturday, the 9th of March, 2024.
Pick a brick.
Missing parts.
No, you want buy pieces.
Yeah, and you want to search for the SKU number.
And as has become almost customary at the start of the shows, we're talking about Horrendous's Lego Venator.
It actually is 44 cents. God damn it!
I know.
How much are you paying for that?
For those, I'm adding $7 shipping.
Hold on.
I know.
No,
44 cents.
44 cents for a single piece. It comes out to like $2.50 for the 6 of them.
You are laughing, but if I'm sending this via Express, it's going to be like 25 euros shipping.
What if you send it not Express?
Yeah, but if I don't send it via Express, it's going to take like 3 weeks.
So you need 2 of the first one.
2 of the first one, 2 of the third one, 2 of the fourth one.
He's
actually checking this. And you know, yes, I got the 1x12s, but
and the plate 112.
I just find this hilarious.
2 of those.
Now you're gonna need to put in your postal code before it'll figure out that you're in Denmark.
Welcome. Thank you by the way for all the follows.
What we're doing right now is Caleb is checking online to see if he will get them quicker, because he's like maybe 45-50 seconds away by car.
Okay, I take that back. Apparently, a standard package is 6 to 12 working days. And if you do it via Express, it's 2 to 3.
Oh well. I mean, I would definitely be willing to.
live?
Okay, let's see.
Hi, Don. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are live. Welcome to the world of the
you might not be.
It seems.
Well, we should say, hey, everybody, welcome to Saturday, the March 9th show of Push to Talk.
Mac already did.
He did? Did he say the date?
Yes, I did. And by the way, Warrington 10, if you want to actually, put hateful comments in chat, you can do it in English. Because, Google Translate exists. I can translate Russian back to English. And you've gotten a 10-minute timeout.
Can you do it though when I say it on stream?
By the way,
because it's Russian. He can't spell what you say.
By the way, Radachard, yes, I have been working out. I do work out. I lift and walk, and I'm down like 60 pounds in the last 4 months or 6 months or something.
Good job.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That is great, dude.
Yeah, it's not really me. It's the drugs. Trust me. But yeah.
2 to 4 working days.
2 to 4 working days. Yeah, 2 to 4
For
working days, and you too can lose 60 pounds.
Caleb,
2 to 4 working
2 to 4
days.
working days for you to get them.
Yes. Hang on. I'm just buying this and sending it to you. Be a sec.
What's wrong now, Horrendous?
That just annoys the hell out of me.
By the way, Venus.
I ordered this shit. I ordered this shit on the 21st of February. It's still sitting in the warehouse, not shipped. So.
Oh wow, that kills me.
So Venus, people need to have a boot up their ass. Clearly.
Yeah. So Venus Fly Plant. Yeah, it didn't take me 20 years when I joined Goons, but when I finally did, I'm like, yeah, I don't know why I waited.
Now I'm wondering what the fuck happened to Backcountry.
Backcountry?
Yeah.
I don't know who Backcountry is. I
Didn't
remember.
They were a
Backcountry-
former Goonswarm Corp, but they've gone to Pandemic Corp
Oh.
a while ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, they first
Yeah,
went
'cause
to
Legion,
PL.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was during the ND Blarf Mittens blow up.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Because
And that's also why the Corp probably doesn't exist anymore, because people got mad that leadership did it without talking to them and left in droves.
I mean, Starscream. It looks like Backcountry has kind of been a dead corporation for a while. Like, I don't know what it's. I don't know why today or this week is specifically ripped, but like, yeah. Of course, you could always fill us in, but yeah, there's obviously other stuff that we can talk about as well today. Specifically as to whether anybody can actually get into Goonswarm Federation by next year, because I've heard it from certain videos that it's difficult to actually get anybody to actually to communicate in public channels these days.
Also, you're thinking of a different Corp because Bad Country left in 2015.
Yeah.
For PL.
Yeah. Well, that's the one that has like 6 people in.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because
that was during
PL.
that time.
Did they get scapegoated in some way, shape, or form by other PL like corps or something? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, I only ask because that is like their general modus operandi. Like they generally, good PL that sort of group,
wait.
like
Atramentor?
elite PvPers generally tend to scapegoat.
Atramentor? Oh, I have to make a correction here. It's not just Kismetir. Baltec is still in Backcountry as well.
Wow.
At least according to Evo.
Hey, somebody's asking us.
It's not like I'm going to log in to check.
Well, saying that, I can't log in without actually re-downloading EVE Online, and this is a gripe that I kind of want to get off my chest. I had to basically
that you can't play the game unless you actually have the game. I don't know. I think that's kind of reasonable.
Stop shooting me down straight away, Renders, before even letting me explain. For fuck's sake. But
have you met me?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But anyway, I had to move my EVE folder, right? Like, it was all up to date and everything like that. Like, I just had to move it to a different drive, right?
Gotcha.
And the amazing thing about Windows these days is you can do such things. The unfortunate aspect, and the thing that I found was a bit of a issue, was the EVE launcher has no way of being able to say, go look for the installation folder in this location. Like, none. Like, not that I was able to find. Like, I spent a good like half hour to hour like trawling through all the various different kind of things, checking, rechecking, double checking, triple checking, all the various different things, and I could not find a single option in the EVE launcher to say my EVE installation is here. Like, if somebody else like knows that there's specifically knows that there is a place where you can do that, fantastic. Because
yes, I can tell you.
It because they didn't really.
Right.
It wasn't
Mac.
very okay.
You click on the cogwheel on the top right.
Okay.
You go to Tools Cache.
Right.
And then you go to Move Game Files directory.
Is that moving it to something, or is it just directing it to something that's already been moved?
Well, it will move it there, I think, if you already have it installed. I think.
Okay.
That should be the right way of doing it.
If Mac hadn't moved it, that would move it. Now I don't know if it'll find it.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue.
I mean, it should find that there's an installation in the path you pointed it to. Good.
Well, I will see if I can deal with that after the show. But I was having a fair amount of issues trying to find that.
I mean, come on,
Also,
how long
thank you
does
very
it
much.
take to re-download Eve?
Not that long. Okay. And thank you very much, Hazitude, for the raid.
Years, Salt. It takes years. 5 minutes for the actual download, but 6 or 7 years to admit. Yeah,
it takes like years. It takes years off you,
yeah.
right?
That
look, okay. Arendis, could you check in the Discord? Does that look right?
Let me look.
I don't think he speaks Danish. Just gonna find that out.
3x12, 3x12, 1x6,
1x12.
1x12.
Oh no, you're paying 0 krona for ordering online. And then another 0 kronas for ordering at the Lego factory online.
I love how that's an option, it seems, for them to be able to add a cost just in case.
Give me a second, Caleb. Let me take a look at this.
Well, that's on the way to me now, so it's bull.
Okay, because I just need to,
he needs to get his reading
what the
glasses
fuck
out.
this says.
He needs to get his reading glasses out.
I'm just going to point this out, Caleb. Before you send these parts to him, take them out of the packaging, right? That way it will get through customs a lot easier.
Yeah, and rob some good old.
Give it some patina.
Well, I'm thinking of hiding it. I'm considering buying a sewing kit, but with actual cookies in it, and then hiding them in there. Then he has to eat the cookies to find the bits.
I was about to suggest that you could just put them in an envelope, because the pieces aren't that big that he wants.
Yeah, they're fucking small, man.
Yeah.
Yes, those look right. Just
I was thinking,
quick confirmation. Quick confirmation. The angled plates are dark gray.
It's the order numbers that you gave me.
Okay,
so I assume that when they find it, they will check the actual color. I hope.
As long as you use those SKUs, it's the right colors.
And make sure that you write on the the packet that you're sending to Arendis, warning contains live bees. I believe that does help out with the sort of like, getting through customs.
Just as a warning from someone who, orders stuff from countries outside the EU, don't fuck with customs. Seriously.
Yeah.
They will like delay your package by weeks just to make you pay for it.
I'm considering doing the whole gift thing, delayed Christmas gift and stuff.
Also, make sure that you include a bag of dicks. Caleb.
Just take it out of that packaging, right? So it's not obviously new.
Well, I'm going to have to unpack them to check that it's the right path anyway. So
yeah. Plus, I mean, it's less than $10 in price.
Yeah. So it's not necessary for insurance anyway. Like,
no, not for insurance. For custom fees.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good point.
I don't know what the actual price point is where custom fees get applied for the US, but under $10 is usually free.
So you're saying I can't put any cheap insulin or amphetamine in it. Because I'm pretty sure that is going up in value in the US at the moment.
No, it's,
So I was
it's going
thinking
down.
of
Why would insulin be going up?
I mean, it's a pharmaceutical.
I mean,
so
we are
why wouldn't it?
Capped.
we are drifting into politics here, but it got capped.
Yeah, it's capped.
We're drifting into politics because we've been drifting into socialism, and it's good.
No, insulin is not expensive at all.
I mean,
Not now.
Anymore.
I mean, it's all relative. Relatively to the rest of the world, your insulin costs a fucking shitload.
Now, you want to make some money? Start shipping us over some Ozempic, man. I'll sell that shit on the black market for like.
Okay, so you're saying that I should go on my little trip instead of going to Jutland, I should actually go to the nearest Novo Nordisk factory and just clean it out of all their Ozempic and just send it to you. Is that what you're saying?
Don't touch
I'll cut you in for 50% of the profits, brother.
Don't touch
60-40, bro. 60-40.
I feel like if we aren't getting close to red lines here with things that we should and should not talk about on stream,
Is he on show this week?
Like,
Well,
I miss red line.
I would
What's the
recommend
pro-
you don't do this. By the way, this is
What about the when we're talking about this, Eric? Could you maybe also take off some glucagon for me, because I know where their freezer is, and I know that it's something like $12,000 per gram or something like that. I was thinking of picking up like a container or two, like 500 grams or something. Can you sell that for me over there?
Sure, whatever you need, brother.
It's actually
We're all-
funny.
We're making this up. Just so
very
everybody
fun.
knows, we're making this up, right?
what was that?
Very funny story.
fucking-
I actually used to work at the factory where they made and stored that stuff, and there was zero security. Like anyone and their mother could just walk straight into that refrigeration room, open the fridge, and there was like kilos of the shit. It's like more valuable than gold. It's like fucking crazy.
Wow.
You could use,
Yep.
use that shit to really fuck people up, though.
I do think they've moved that to the big factory where you have to go through like several checkpoints and bust the doors and shit.
Like,
So.
if you relabeled that insulin, you could kill people that way.
By the way, what's Brisk
Jesus
talking
Christ.
about? There's a fight today. What's Brisk talking about?
Yeah.
I think it's Brisk and Amy fighting at some point.
Can I now officially
No,
put in my LinkedIn that I'm a Lego pusher?
There's
You can't.
there's
No.
a fort
You're
onlining
not a
F4R.
Lego pusher. You're a Lego smuggler.
Oh yeah, the one
Yeah.
the forts around the Horde Keepstar. I believe.
Oh, I gotta pay my American Express bill today.
I have.
Gotta know.
I'm
Horde
gonna
still has the
assume.
Keepstar?
I'm gonna assume here that Brisk might be covering that on the meta show a little later. He can confirm and deny it, or deny it in chat, but I'm fairly certain that I'm probably going to talk about
You're doing what? Talking about what?
the fight that's going to go down
Oh.
for the.
I mean, there may not be a fight, but we're definitely going to try to have one. There's a
I
fort
mean,
online.
it does take two to tango, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Brisk is probably in the shower at the moment.
Brisk is in chat.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that he's not in the shower as well. Like,
Yeah, that's never stopped him.
This is true. This is true.
and we all know that Brisk does
Fact.
always shower in a suit. So you know, I mean, there's verifiable evidence on his previous,
pictures.
CSM campaigns that that
Correct.
he always showers in a suit. That's how it is.
He 100% showers in a suit.
He's always sharp, even when he's in the shower.
He showers in a suit, and he uses the what is it? The jockey scented Caswell Massey soap. That's what I hear. Is that true, Risk? You like the jockey scent? Just like what's his name?
Wait, he's not using Old Spice? What?
Oh no, this is soap. Not well. I guess there's an Old Spice soap, isn't there? Probably.
I mean, I think Old Spice started with soap. Like they only got into like shower gels and stuff like that when, it's like a new thing for them.
They started with deodorant.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry, aftershave.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. That does make sense.
I'm a little torn. Maybe you guys can help me with this problem, right?
Oh, yeah, good. Always looking to help.
This is like the epitome of like lazy. Just so we know. Just to be clear here, okay, there's no trying to cover it up, right? I got this giant desk in front of me, which is huge. It's got lots of space. Okay. So should I want to get like, one of those Nescafe or whatever single doobie coffee makers, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, the Nescafe, like,
yeah.
Like espresso-y things, right?
Yeah, Nespresso, right? Because, like, I could walk out the door right here and into the kitchen to go get coffee.
That's not what you want. You want a bean-to-cup machine. You don't want those.
I have that.
They're a million times better.
I already have that. I just want something little, stick it on the desk, say hot coffee. But they're really loud. Right?
Yeah. The one that I have is very loud. It's fairly quick, but it's very loud when it does like.
Hold on. He's
Although I prefer the smaller kind of ones.
Yeah.
Don't you have those specialist business things where it's business to business rental lease agreements where you can do it through the company and they deliver all the coffee and shit?
Yeah, I mean I could do that too. But
yeah.
They're really good. If you make the right deals, they're really good. My brother just got a $10,000 coffee maker thing, and the write-off deal that he's made is 4 years, and then he gets to keep the machine.
Nice.
Oh, that's not bad, but
still not bad. So basically, it sounds like one of those wheeler dealing things where it's actually the tax man that ends up paying for all of that shit.
However, Brisk, going back to Brisk, he says he bourbon scented soap that Isabella sends him. I'm just letting that sink into the audience, right? Because he didn't say Mrs. Brisk buys me bourbon scented soap. No, some other individual.
I can practically hear someone screaming in the background. Who's Isabella?
Well,
let's keep it being, kind of a mystery for the entirety of the show. Thank you.
So I have it on good authority. Isabella is secretly Dawn.
Yes, clearly.
I just like the fact that he goes to work. If he's heading up there to Capitol Hill or wherever, smelling like bourbon, that's probably not too unusual. He's just trying to fit in, folks.
All of the political influence, none of the actual inebriation.
There you go. He's just one of the guys. Just one of the guys. We were talking at the bar I go to. We're like, we have no good bourbon. Oh, buys Mrs. What But what scent does Mrs. Brisk get? Inquiring minds want to know. Brisk.
Jesus Christ, there's about bajillion fucking scents that
I know there
Miss Brisk
is.
can get.
Let's get the. We need to be sponsored by like that Mr. Squatch soap or whatever the fuck. We need
fuck?
something. Have you guys seen that Mr. Squatch?
I have not seen that, but like it sounds
look it
to me
up.
like
Look it up.
something. Okay,
It's like Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, right? Yeah, some purple, pink, flowery shit. So,
that's so fucking true.
Lavender rose? I don't know. Purple, pink? I don't know.
Oh, by the way, thank you very much for the sub, Jurattacker.
King, what is really good soap?
See, Brisk, if Isabella really loved you, she'd send you Lego.
Oh! He uses the. I think he's using this Mr. Squatch stuff, right? Rum Barrel. I know. I've never got the Mr. Squatch soap. Yeah, Dr. Squatch. Dr. Squatch.
Dr. Squatch. Okay.
Yeah, they're like big squares or something, aren't they?
Hey man,
King?
don't go taking away Bigfoot's degree.
Doctor.
Worked a long time to get that.
It's like doctor.
I mean, literally, the first thing I
doctor.
see is Dr. Squatch Special Edition Game of Thrones. I'm like, wow, is this like what 10 years? Fucking.
Oh yeah.
Back.
Oh
in
no,
time?
they got everything. No, they got everything, man. Dukes. People like Dukes. I'm probably gonna try the Dr. Squatch soap here in a little bit.
Apparently, there is a UK Dr. Squatch website.
I have tried the Caswell Maxi. It really foams up, man. That's some good soap, but I'm not big on all their scents. Yeah. Subscription plan sends you a bar a month, baby.
So one of the fucking issues that I've had with soap.
How fast are you going through this soap?
Who are we talking about?
Do you guys get Dove soap over there in the US?
Dog soap?
Dove.
Dove. Oh yeah, we have Dove.
The pigeons.
Like the pigeons. What are doves? They're just classy pigeons.
It's like a very normal kind of. I mean, do you get it or not? Like over there in the US?
Yeah, I actually use the Dove.
So my issue with Dove. So my issue with Dove soap, like the actual soap bars, is they fucking disintegrate in like fucking 5 seconds.
They do. They do not last.
They don't really last that long. Like if I'm buying soap, like an actual bar of soap, like I generally tend to get like this soap that we get over here in the UK called Pears soap. It's not literally like smells of pears, but like it's just a branding. But like they last like fucking 10 times as long.
Just because they're not.
They soap up and lather really, really nicely as well. Like they last like, you'll go through a 6-pack of Dove soap before you get through a single bar of like hair soap. Great.
So yeah, I mean, I actually did this test recently, right? Because somebody got me the Caswell Maxi.
I don't know why we're talking about this, but like,
I don't either. But so one
Brisk smells like booze all the damn time. And now we know why. We thought he was just a drunk. No, it's soap. He's clean.
It's like, okay, an intervention doesn't need to happen. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, alcohol kills most bacteria, so there is some sense to it.
The soap in the US that'll dry your skin out is like Dial antibacterial. Like
real men use lava.
Lava. Oh wow, is that even still made? You remember that Irish Spring and lava?
Of course, lava's still made.
I mean,
man, like pumice soaps are always going to be used in like machine shops and auto shops and shit. Anything where you gotta get motor oil out of your skin, they're gonna be using pumice soaps.
I always had you down as an Old Spice or an Axeman.
Yeah.
Dude,
Axe is teenager stuff.
I grew up using lava because like my father my father was an electrician in the Navy, and he worked. He was on aircraft carriers. So being a electrician meant that he was basically dealing with a whole lot of there's all sorts of shit on the inside of this plane. What the fuck, people? So lava was basically the only thing we had in the fucking house. And in his free time, he raced fucking Chevy Vegas up and down a decommissioned airstrip. So like they were always working on the cars too.
It's like living the old school American dream. Like
little clay track action,
It was interesting. Like we always had at least 2 Chevy Vegas in various states of disrepair, having parts moved between them.
Yeah. I don't like the way Ivory smells. I do the Dove plus Men's Care. I do that one, but they disintegrate, like you said, McLeod.
Yeah, like literally put them in a soap dish with like a little bit of leftover water on your hand, and like
gone.
Like 10 minutes, it's gone. Like,
gone. I'm going to try the Doctor. I have tried the Caswell Max. They're a little expensive, but I don't like I don't like all the scents that I got as gifts. So, but they last forever and lather up. But I'm going to go with the Dr. Squatch. I'm going to try that. See how that works.
I find it funny that we're talking about like grooming and grooming standards and all that shit. And like the advert that like was played, or at least on my stream, was some Gillette product called Gillette Intimate, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I'm getting a promo for the new Godzilla Kong movie, and I'm thinking, grooming,
Mittens for men.
Kong looks pretty good here, so clearly he's been using a good soap.
I like what Troy responded right to the soap Mittens uses. Mittens for men. I like it. That's good. That's good. Mittens for men.
Well, we're well past the dawn rule, so
we are.
Yeah.
Well, do we have anything Eve to talk about?
There's a fight apparently going on.
I mean, apparently there's setup. There's definitely a setup for a fight going to happen, but like
bring tech
as we said, it does take 2 to tango, so there does need to be some pushback.
I use a loofah.
Ooh,
Soj. Yeah.
Oh well, it's important to exfoliate.
How long a loofah? Like, does your loofah allow you, like, purchase to your back, or
yes?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, I
that's decent.
Let's dig into the important things. How many times does everybody bathe?
Does anyone remember when they dropped that keep? Yes, I remember it like it was yesterday. That keep that they dropped.
That's about as accurate as the, there's see an enemy where? By that tree.
Does anybody remember
which tree?
When
the one by the forest.
Up that keep.
Nice.
That time.
Do you remember when they accidentally started the unanchoring timer because they were fiddling around in the settings?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about now.
I was looking at. I was trying to sort of get some info of F4R2 as well as some another high sec system that like may end up becoming a low sec system, and Dotland was just basically like breaking for whatever reason.
It's like
Brisk is much more clued up as to what the fuck's going in F4R2 than we ever will be, so don't worry.
No, look, it's F4R2. Like, how many major battles have been in F4R2? That's a long list, okay? Just look at a map and you will understand why.
I mean, I'm gonna attempt to use .lan again.
It's
Hold
one of
it.
the most
F4.
important systems in Catch.
You know what really
Okay.
really burns my britches is the fact that when I go
Fire?
to maps.google.com, I do not find anything for Eve. There should maps. They should have a link to the Eve maps. Okay, so we can easily find this shit in our browser. I'm just saying. This
Okay, I see why it's an important thing. It's kind of like this. It's sort of like a bridgeway between Catch and Immensea.
Yes.
That's fair. That makes a bit more sense. Like when I look at the 2D kind of like, usual .lan maps, something of that, something like FR2 kind of doesn't look significant until you actually take it to the to the universe map, and then you're like, oh, okay, I can understand the reason why.
It also has a bit to do with jump ranges on top of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's next to U-Q, probably the most important system in Catch. Some would probably say head GP, but come on.
It's sort of like the gateway
That's because some people want head.
into the sort of southern Droneland Sea.
That escalated
area.
quickly.
Some people?
Well,
I think I heard the right words there, and really not
You
sure. I mean, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut because Mrs. Erik will yell at me.
what for that?
Yes, Soft.
Yes.
Some people. And some people have to keep their mouth shut, or Mrs. Erik will yell at them.
Oh. Right. So, who wants to fucking go into what actually is going to be going down? Because we know that there's obviously we know that there's a hostile Keepstar there.
Wait, no, Mac.
We know that there's 4 desires that have been dropped that are anchoring and online soon.
Mac, this is obvious though.
Mhm.
Dawn, you're Gnome. Tell us what's
Yeah,
going
you're
on.
an important person who goes to important space meetings. That you should know that kind of stuff, right? So clue us in.
Yeah. So
She
spill
doesn't
all
even-
the OPSEC.
She doesn't even know what
babe.
we're asking about. She hasn't been
All
paying
right?
attention.
Spill all the OPSEC. Let's go.
About
The spice must flow.
Yes.
Well, she probably pays as much attention in the space meeting as she is here, so
Well, I think, that's going to be pretty bad then.
I mean,
Because going live, we basically woke her up. Like,
We did. Have you had your caffeine yet?
no,
You
I don't
good?
drink coffee. You know that.
you see, that's an issue. I can
Yeah,
see that
that's your
being a
problem.
serious issue for somebody in important space meetings, not being able to drink coffee or not drinking coffee. In general. Maybe we need to send you an espresso machine to sit next to you on your desk.
So there is a Fortizar and F4, whatever, not Fortizar. Sorry, there's a Keepstar, and we dropped an aggressive Fortizar on grid with it, and we're trying to get it to anchor today. And
An aggressive Fortizar.
yeah,
Yes,
and,
it's.
I like them
probably-
so much. I like them so much better than the passive Fortizars.
yeah, it starts slinging insults all day.
They've fitted the special taunt module,
Ooh.
Oh man, if there could be such a thing, that would be hilarious.
so it's a passive aggressive Fortizar.
It just fires off containers with insults.
Well, that would explain why Dawn won't be there. Yes.
See, I favor active aggressiveness instead of passive aggressiveness.
Well, you need to fit it with stand up weapon systems for that particular thing. So.
Theoretically, if you have GM powers, you can move citadels.
Well, yeah, then they don't need anchoring or onlining. They're just online straight away.
Can you just imagine a big fight going on and all of a sudden a Keepstar warps on grid?
Just suddenly Keepstar. Like, what the fuck?
That'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
We've all seen the the broken kind of screenshots of Keepstars seemingly looking like they're in a warp tunnel.
I mean, come on, takes an hour to align and can get bubbled, right? That would be hilarious if we could warp our citadels.
That sounds a lot like
torture. That sounds like it's against the Geneva Convention too.
I was going to say that sounds a lot like some of the proposed fixes for supercaps.
I just want to point out that
just like
Geneva is really, really far away in Eve, right? I'm not sure that convention applies.
What was the other thing?
Yeah, good luck having them try and enforce that.
So we're gonna anchor this Fortizar, and then hopefully we'll see if anyone wants to fight, and if they do, we fight, and that'll be a good time. And if they don't, then we're gonna kill their Keepstar, probably.
I mean, is it reinforced already, or is it like
it was, but like it was like a shield timer.
Oh, okay. So it was a shield timer. People don't generally tend to run to sort of defend shield timers unless they're
and that was like
already formed up for stuff, right? So
I don't know
it's
if
the
we're
armor
gonna
timer that's always the kind of like the big deal.
Yeah, I don't think we're shooting the Keepstar today, other than maybe poke it. I don't know. I'm not privy to all of that. I didn't even know we had dropped a fort until like Reddit was like, and I'm like, huh? Okay, cool. We are gonna be aggressive.
Oh yeah, it's called Jabrona Star. Wow, that's a fucking terrible name. I mean, who the fuck calls of Keepstar that?
Other than that, it is potentially pretty exciting because if there is a Keepstar fight, then we get to stream it. Hey.
And there may be supers and Supercap. And you never know, a Supercap fight might break out. Depends how ballsy, how ballsy people are going to be. Right?
Yeah, you never know. Who knows?
Like, I've known Goonswarm to be pretty fucking ballsy, like, in the past. Like, I've been, this is obviously going back a fair way, right? But I've been in Razor going and, hazing some areas in, where the fuck is it? Like northern Cobalt Edge, when some people who were living in Cobalt Edge were getting all uppity and poking Tenal. And at some point, somehow, in some way, and I don't fucking understand how Goonswarm did this, but somehow Goonswarm snuck a whole bunch of supers all the way through Droneland space from the south to come up north and just be like, surprise, motherfucker. And just decimate a capital fleet. Fucking fantastic.
Hey, those Titans can be sneaky, right? I mean,
apparently so.
You usually don't hear them coming when they drift through gates.
They're like,
honestly, dude, this was back before they were going through. Before they were able to go through gates. This is when
that you know of.
That I know of, at least. I mean, I can imagine that from their point of view, the hostile point of view, up in Cobalt Edge, that it probably felt like dev hacks. Like suddenly there's a hostile super fleet. Like, where the fuck did that come from?
I mean, to me, it just feels like someone didn't have their scouts up.
Oh yeah, well, obviously, it definitely was a complacency. We've got this on lock. It's fine, etc., etc. And then suddenly, it's not, because we were just assuming that nobody would be this bold
Bold.
or brazen. Yeah. Anyway, back to set.
All right, time to rob this bitch blind. Oh my god, it still works.
Anything else happen?
Well, non-Eve, Akira Toriyama died on March
we heard
1st.
that. Yeah, we heard about that.
It took like 8 or 9 days for people to start saying something, but yeah.
Did anything fun happen?
Oh, you did not preface that fun was a requirement of the information provided.
You don't get the idea of streaming, do you? By the way, I'm back. Hi.
I love your SpongeBob little "I'll be right back" thing.
Oh yeah. It was not my initial idea. Like I think I pinched it off somebody else. To be completely honest.
Bing. Oh, someone
But,
got
like,
promoted.
I guess we can talk about the thing that like I hinted about in the title of the show.
Sure, go for it.
See,
could
I'm
talk
reading
about that.
things like, is Imperium planning to attack the Cringe Coalition? And I'm sitting here thinking, is there actually a coalition called that? Or is that just one of the coalitions that's generally cringe? Because both could be true. It's Eve, and I haven't been paying attention.
Dawn, what's this about somebody getting promoted?
It says, I can't tell you what the ping says. You can
Who's
read.
resting? Who's resting in piss?
Okay, well, if
Because
that's
that's
I've
generally
got
how
like
that works.
I've got fucking Pigeon running right now. Jesus Christ!
yeah, Russ.
I
You're not making me start it up.
I can't get these pings because it isn't part of the Imperium anymore. So my pigeon doesn't work with receiving pings from Goonswarm. I can't even join you guys as what is it, comms and stuff. So yeah, you could if you want, like you're not going to get that information from me. So
Ross July.
that means nothing to me.
I'm just, that's fine. I was just like, oh, cool.
I'm sure whoever it is deserves it. And you can take that as being a positive or a negative. Yeah. I mean, Stu, like, I looked into like the covert spying kind of thing intel game in Eve, and like, yeah, that is a deep dark rabbit hole that you don't want to go into, because that gets paranoia inducing.
Well, you also kind of have to be active in the game for it.
You do also have to be active in the game for it, for sure. Like, it will literally take over your entire life. You know, it let's just put it this way. It drove Matani to the point where he was, you know, having waking dreams saying that there is spies in his fridge. And that is almost verbatim the line that Matani used.
There were.
Well, yeah, okay, there were. Were there?
No, there weren't spies in his fridge. There were pies in his fridge. Come on.
Close enough.
It's fair. It's fair. Well, I don't know why you'd wake up in a, you know, cold sweat saying that, but all right.
Well,
unless you really did not like
them. I mean, that's more horrible than making pies.
They were going to go off yesterday. Fuck.
keeping one in the fridge, and you're really excited for it, and then you forget because you're too busy. I mean, that's the worst ever.
Fucking hell. So a little sort of random content creator this week, I believe, has said that it's kind of difficult to get into a Goonswarm corporation these days.
Why is it hard to get in Goonswarm Federation?
That's a good question though, Dawn. Real quick, since you're still
What?
here, what time is the Fortizar thing?
Right after Fireside. So 3 something, I guess. Or
Free in freedom time.
yeah, I don't care about anybody else's time zone. Everybody knows this. You don't. If you can't do math, that's not my problem.
Yeah, but aren't you in like Central Time or something?
I'm in Eastern.
Oh, all right.
Like you should at least fucking
I
utilize.
thought you were in some
American
weird-ass time zone.
American fucking, you know, the American kind of format when dealing with time, Zulu time. All right.
No, that's the American military format. The American,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The
Like,
American
you should at least utilize the American
population's format is
what
time
fucking
is it where I
civvies
live?
or basic bitch civvies. Yeah, all right,
Yeah,
whatever.
but you know, for the rest of us, it's what time is it where I live, and the rest of you need to get on my schedule.
No.
If you want to know what Zulu time is, we're referencing American military. It's also known as GMT. So you guys know.
Zulu. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, actually, GMT and UTC are slightly different because
Yes, they are.
GMT does move over, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I personally do prefer UTC because it doesn't actually move. I do not give a flying fuck if, you know, I don't care if it gets darker earlier or lighter earlier at certain times.
That gives no shits about farmers' needs.
Yes, exactly. Wake up a fucking hour earlier, motherfuckers.
Like the rest of us.
When you consider the fact that, you know, the changing of like summertime and wintertime actually causes accidents and deaths specifically, then that's, to me, that's a fucking terrible fucking way of going of just operating a fucking society.
And yet somehow a lot of the world picked up on doing this stupid, let's, go back an hour.
It's called imperialism.
Duh.
You'd think that they would be like, oh, we don't need to do this anymore.
Well, yeah, but then there's also this is how it's always been done, so we're going to carry on doing it, you know. Get that? Oh, it's tradition. Sometimes tradition is a fucking bad thing.
Also,
when did Europe start using daylight savings time? Is that another stupid thing we introduced after World War II?
I think you guys introduced it. Yeah.
Probably.
Whether it's an urban myth that you guys created it or not, I'm not entirely certain, but we can always go down this fucking rabbit hole.
Germans.
Yep. It was Benjamin Franklin.
German.
Oh, what? French, German, what? Like, pick a lane.
Well, I know Benjamin Franklin proposed it.
He proposed it, yeah, but it was a guy from New Zealand who 100 years later actually proposed it in earnest. And he was a fucking entomologist. Like, why did we listen to that guy?
Bugs.
George Hudson. Of all fucking people. In a Kiwi
So was
entomologist.
was it the French or the Germans?
It was a Kiwi entomologist. Apparently.
Yep.
If you by any chance had a Kiwi entomologist on your bingo card for Push to Talk today, one,
I did.
What the fuck? And two, cross it out.
I did not have that on my bingo card, but I won't argue too much. Can that be my free space?
No.
What?
Now we just have to find out that New Zealand actually abandoned daylight saving times like 50 years ago to make this fact complete.
That would be
Really?
great.
Let's see. Nope, they also have daylight savings times, and it's actually split between the island.
What, north and south? Oh fuck, that's just
No,
complex.
west and east.
Oh,
Why would it be split north and
Right.
south?
Because there's a northern and southern island.
Is there any news on when
Isn't
the
there?
EU is going to get rid of it?
When they can decide which time they will go with. Because they decided that they want to get rid of it. They just can't decide if they go with summertime or wintertime.
To be
not
fair, the
making this
islands
up.
of the islands of New Zealand are kind of situated that you can go north, south, or east, west.
No, the main island has
Yeah.
2 time zones.
This
Oh,
is one of those
Jesus
things that
fucking
really
Christ, really?
stink of someone just trying to milk more hours out of their political work. No, we have to decide whether it's summer or winter. This will take 18 months, give or take.
In order to properly get this, in order to properly solve this and deal with this, I'm going to need to have an increase in my budget, please.
I
That's
think
probably
the
what
problem
happened.
the problem was that the French wanted one thing and everyone else was fuck the French.
That sounds like every single vote in the EU, doesn't it?
It wasn't the French, by the way. It was
Especially now that the crazy people are gone.
I was going to say, hang on, when has it always been fuck the French when the Brits were there? Like,
Well, it used to be the
normally it was
Brits saying fuck the
Brits,
French
like-
and the French saying fuck the Brits, and then everything getting locked.
and everyone else kind of looking, going,
Why are you
same
actually
fucking shit,
fighting
different
about
day.
this shit?
Yeah, it started
Don't
off.
forget
It started off with the Brits trying to fuck the French, and the French trying to fuck the Brits, and then Napoleon showed up, and the French tried to fuck everybody, and then it became the French trying to fuck the Germans, and the Germans trying to fuck the French. At some point, I suppose we're going to have a Franco-Spanish war.
So what I'm getting from this is that as soon as we can get the
That's-
French out of the EU, the whole project is just going to run completely smoothly.
Well, obviously the Franco-Spanish
this-
War. The Franco-Spanish War is going to happen when Catalonia actually does declare independence, and France kind of goes, "We'll stick up for you."
I don't want to be the guy to break it to you, but 1635?
Oh, did it actually happen?
Wait, the French left the EU in 1635?
No, we had a Franco-Spanish War in 1635.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine then. They've
Because
completed the circuit. They're good.
Wait,
Have they gone to war with Portugal?
But have we had a second one yet?
Ooh.
What about
France
second
or-
Franco?
the Franco-Spanish
Yes,
War part two.
France actually invaded Portugal in 1807.
Okay. About Italy. Well, I guess the Second World War did have them on opposite sides. So.
Italy invaded France. Does that count?
Okay. So yeah, no, France is pretty much they're good. They've settled all of it. All right. Okay.
Welcome to geopolitics.
Welcome
Push
to
your
Dawn
talk
has
style.
to leave now.
Yep, bye. Have a good day.
Hmm.
Enjoy your you know, fucking
Enjoy being
important
space
space
important.
meeting.
Yep.
That was probably more history in 5 minutes than 95% of our American viewers got out of the US.
I mean, I've learned something today. Like, I didn't even realize that there were 2 time zones in the southern island of New Zealand.
Were you not there on the Friday? We had
when's the last
3-hour
time France
talk about
invaded
time
Luxembourg?
zones.
Well, yeah, but that was so all encompassing around the entirety of the world that, like, I don't think we talked heavily on New Zealand. There was a lot of more weird oddities going on.
I don't think there's
seriously, Sauce, we can't take Americans serious when it comes to things like history and archaeology. These people insist on using gloves for books that are from the 18th century. Like, those things are still in our libraries.
So I don't think there's been a war between France and Luxembourg. I don't think there's been a war between anyone in Luxembourg.
Don't we have to find it first?
I think that's very much.
That's
I think Luxembourg is very much, breathing a sigh of relief on that front.
Every time people try to invade, they just like take a wrong turn and wind up invading Belgium or something.
I think most Europeans know most of the countries on a map, but if you ask them to find Luxembourg, they're all going to sit there going, "Wait a minute, where is that motherfucker?"
Here's a fun thing.
You just need to get a large enough map so it's got more than 2 pixels.
There hasn't been a war with Luxembourg. There has been a siege of Luxembourg because that's how big it is.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. It's not exactly that big.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Luxembourg. You don't have to invade it to besiege it. You just set up your siege engines on your own territory.
Yeah,
you can hit to the center of town.
Like the French farmers could siege Luxembourg.
You just put your troops all around the border of Luxembourg, and you still probably have 20% of it left to do something else.
And you throw rocks and hit the middle of town, yeah.
Like, no joke, the actual border of the war in Ukraine is probably larger than the entirety of the sort of border of Luxembourg. So
that's a
could
given.
definitely do
Jesus.
that.
By a
Easily,
lot.
by a way. So yeah, easily possible.
Do you have any idea how tiny Luxembourg is?
I mean, I am looking at it on a map, so yes.
I'm pretty sure multiple Luxembourgs would fit inside London.
But let's just say that if you wanted to do a bombing campaign,
Greater London, you could probably fit one and a bit.
Okay,
if you wanted to bomb Luxembourg, right, you would have to do something very similar to the most recent Top Gun movie.
Actually, I still have not seen that. I need to see that.
You should.
Yeah, I mean, I initially thought to myself, oh, it's a sequel. It's going to be fucking terrible. And also, it's a sequel of a film that was released a long time ago, and somebody's trying to do a rerun of it, sort of thing. And I thought to myself, like, oh, it's definitely going to tank then. And ended up being apparently a very, very good film.
It's
great reviews.
A remarkably good film, and it also is a horribly nostalgic film.
It's a horribly nostalgic film. It's a film that's far better than it has any right to be.
Yep.
To answer your question, Mac, the border of Luxembourg is 356 kilometers long.
How much of that is mountains that you can't actually?
Wow! So if you walk a mile a day, you'll be able to go around it for in exactly a year.
The front line in Ukraine is 960 kilometers long. So
if you just walk across Luxembourg, you can get from one end of the border to the other in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I think there's the majority of Americans might actually be commuting.
I think you're thinking of Liechtenstein there, by the way, which is even smaller than Luxembourg.
They should team up.
Well, if you're driving
are we really going to talk about
Liechtenstein before you actually see the sign?
If we're going to go into the sort of the realms of smallest, principalities, then I think we're going to end up talking about Monte Carlo and the Vatican, right? Like,
I mean, the Liechtenstein border is 75 kilometers long.
Yeah,
but
see,
Mac, that's not actual nation states as such. It's more like protectorates for rich people.
well, yeah, Monaco definitely is that, and Vatican for sure.
They are like Turkestans.
but more importantly, Luxembourg and Liechtenstein, they're both on the French border, so they have to worry about things.
Monaco isn't?
If I remember correctly, Liechtenstein exists because some rich guy wanted to be prince of something.
I mean, that's why a lot of places exist.
So he literally bought a country.
Well, these places are so small that even medium-sized farmers in America, like proper ranchers, have more land than they do. So.
Oh, so do we in Germany.
Go to Australia. There's some like cattle ranches in Australia that are like larger than Luxembourg, bro.
All right, let's start talking about Texas.
Texas. I got it mid Starstream. Got it mid Starstream. I was really curious what the fuck you meant by hat laundering.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
there's probably barns in Texas bigger than Luxembourg.
There's probably fires bigger than Luxembourg in Texas right now.
That's a big fire.
No.
Is there lots of fires going on in Texas right now?
Nah, there's just one big fire up in the Panhandle, but
that's
just like a little piece of Texas. It's like not even a big piece of Texas.
Fire.
It was a damn big fire.
I did hear about a fire that was going on in a nuclear weapons facility.
Yes, that one.
That one. Okay, yeah. Well,
yes.
That might not be large, but that is in a worrying location for sure.
No, Mac, you don't understand. That was one huge fire. It wasn't multiple fires.
Oh, it was just one massive
big fire.
Oh yeah, it was a big fire. But the state of Texas is so big that my wife and daughter were down in Dallas while that fire is going on, and nobody even knew it was happening. Like, yeah, it's over there.
I mean,
it's over there.
That does need to be like. I mean, we are talking about a state. Like,
it's a big state.
To be fair, the UK is like when you actually scale it correctly, like well, maybe not the UK, but Britain. It is about the size of Texas. Not the size of Texas. It's about the size of Florida, maybe a little bit larger, which is fucking ludicrous.
Right. So I think we were. I think we were starting to go into that YouTuber who said it's hard to get into Goons right now.
Just
hold on.
Real quick on the scale thing, because there was a
by the way
UK versus Texas thing.
Well, it was actually UK versus Florida thing, but
by the way, there are 11 states in the United States that the UK can fit inside.
Oh, I'm definitely.
At 551,696 square kilometers. All right.
Mm.
France is 120,000 square kilometers smaller than Texas.
Texas can fit 2.86 UKs inside it.
Nice.
Well, the biggest ranch in the US.
But then we need to have 2.86 UKs, and nobody wants that.
There's probably ranches in Texas that are larger than like Wales. So
ready for this?
The largest US ranch is almost as big as Cyprus.
Let's put it this way:
are we counting Alaska, by the way?
Alaska can fit 7.05 UKs inside it.
I mean,
Alaska.
More than half of the rest of the US can fit into Alaska. So It's mostly
Basically-
empty. Come on.
So
Basically, UK is about the size of the state of Michigan.
Hi, Bard.
Bard's here. Hey, hey, Bard.
That
We're
was
actually
like-
we're getting to an area of conversation. We're about to get to an area of conversation that you have some knowledge in. To be fair.
What?
By the way, very, very important thing on the weekend that I was gone.
Bard
Thanks
is an
for the-
expert on
thanks for the
cramming
sub.
UKs into places.
Yeah. On to the weekend I was gone. I went down, and a good friend of mine that I met through Eve, by the way, Scythe. We went to his bachelor party. Flew the Millennium Falcon. It was really cool. But most important, because we're talking about Texas, there's a big gas station that started in Texas called Buc-ee's. Okay, which, by the way, if you guys watch the Jolly Dudes from the UK, they went to Buc-ee's once. It's an awesome show, by the way. Holy fuck, is Buc-ee's giant? There's by the way, it's the off season. It's the off season on this interstate that goes to Myrtle Beach, right? And there's 100 or more gas pumps, and they're all full. Buc-ee's is packed. It's like Costco on a Saturday in this place. I mean, wall to wall people. You can buy swimsuits at a gas station stop, right? They had 50 feet of deli space that they had beef jerky in. I mean,
Bloody hell.
it was huge. Buc-ee's. Holy crap. It was huge. Buc-ee's.
I mean, if
But
it's
by the way,
if it's a Walmart meets a truck stop, then yeah, it's gonna be fucking massive.
oh my god. No trucks allowed. Only cars. No trucks allowed. People were literally, they were tailgating in their cars in the parking lot, like they were eating, like they were tailgating there. Buc-ee's has nothing on
Doesn't sound like
Wawa's.
Texas at all.
Buc-ee's has nothing on I've been to a Wawa. Wawa is no Buc-ee's. Okay. It's.
By the
Oh
way,
my
socially
God.
obsolete. Thank you very much for the reference.
But
So
anyway, but by the way, if you don't watch the Jolly Guys YouTube channel, you got to watch it. They're awesome. They're awesome guys.
I just want to mention thanks. Yeah, regarding Commander Starscream's kind of comment about the the nukes being taken out by rail. Well, thank God for that, because America definitely doesn't have any sort of dodgy
Rail system,
rail history, like bad rail system.
Are you
in any
sure
way,
you
shape, or
should
form.
talk about that, Mac?
Hold on.
Yeah, well, we don't exactly have that much better, but then again, ours
run,
at least,
and they don't fall off the tracks.
Or ours run don't fall off the tracks, but if it's a bad thing, then at least it doesn't even get built. It just costs a lot for nothing. So
I'm pretty sure that last I checked, you have one of the oldest metros, including the actual hardware that's running on it.
That's because it's it was the first.
And you just haven't considered upgrading your stock like the last 50
The
years?
stock's been upgraded.
For massive fucking costs. Disproportionate costs.
I was just finding it very interesting when we were in London that the actual hardware was older than what they use in the Eastern countries. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's because the majority of the money that's put aside for that sort of stuff isn't put aside for the actual equipment. It's put aside for the increasement of the that's a new word. The increased size of the executives' bank accounts.
Yep.
I think the word you're looking for there, Mac, is increase.
Yeah, okay. Look, I don't know how to speak one language, okay, and that's bad English, all right?
So not bigonym, big making, biggerizers.
Biggerization, yeah.
Biggerizations, yes.
Yeah,
We'll go with that one.
Embiggening.
Embiggening.
Thanks for the assist there, Bard.
Don't worry.
Right. Do we want to stop teasing Bard and actually get into that topic?
Well, we've kind of teed the topic.
What topic?
Veered away from it each time.
I only
and I'm
know
there
what
going,
the topic is.
Do we even want to talk about it? So there was a video that was kind of like a second in the series of like somebody looking to see whether certain nullsec groups are good to join in 2024/2023. I think the Horde one was 2023, and obviously 2024 is like the Goonswarm one, because strangely enough it's 2024, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Bard, you saw it, right? I kind of breezed through it as such.
I watched some of it. I didn't manage to finish it, but yeah.
So there's some good points. There's also some, points that need clarification, I think. Like, I would like to sort of do at least a bit of a sort of a bit of a review and kind of, praise and, some degree of correction to some aspects of it. I know from people who have walked away from Eve for a while and then come back and basically been like, well, I was in Goonswarm. I have been kicked because of inactivity, and that's fair enough, but I'd like to come back. And then they tried to sort of go through the process of coming back and basically got frustrated to the point where they were like, you know what, fuck you, essentially, and went and joined some other group. So I can understand the frustration of some people like wanting to rejoin or wanting to join Goonswarm, and if it's not a specific kind of if you're not in the lane, then you're kind of you don't know where to go or what to do in order to actually like speed the process up. But yeah, like I don't know if it's just a non-karma fleet kind of thing, or whether it's whether it affects karma fleet as well. But like normally karma fleets are like good for bringing people in and getting people squared away, right?
Yeah.
And if it's just one of those things where all the other kind of corps just generally tend to sort of end up being the place that you go after you've joined karma fleet, then I can understand why they don't really sort of frequent their, like, say, for example, their public chat channels for recruitment and that kind of thing.
So,
because
what's this in terms to, though? Because I need a bit more context.
Well, I mean, the video that was released, that was by Amy from This Is Amy, who's the content creator. She was joining 4S, right? And one of her criticisms was, she was in 4S's public chat channel for recruitment for multiple days, and there was basically no conversation, no picking up that she was interested in joining the Corp or anything like that, right? And I could understand that if the sort of recruitment from outside of Goonswarm thing is now just a thing that like no corporations in Goonswarm do aside from, say, Karma Fleet.
Yeah, but
if that's the case, then just don't have a fucking public chat.
Thing is, this isn't just a Imperium. Well, I'd say Imperium Goons or Imperium thing. Like, I've got friends that run corps in HiSec and whatever, and from time to time I've dropped into their recruitment channels if I need to get hold of one of them really quick, and there's no one in that. This, it's groups all over the place. It's not great for recruiting, also, but it's par for the course for the game after the last several years, I would say.
It's also, what are you expecting? Like, Do you
Like,
just
I don't
want people to chat
Well, I mean-
with you?
Like, I don't even know if it's just
Well, no, it's
for
not
the
like
last-
a chat thing, but just
for the
if
last several
somebody.
years. Like,
Yeah.
people are active and have windows when they're going to be around, and outside of that window, they're not going to be around. Especially a small high sec group, they're all going to be on the same time, and that means that the rest of the time they're all not there.
Yeah, and
I mean, for groups
I
like
get
that, yeah.
like if you're like, say, you know, Euro or maybe even sort of Russia or China time zone sort of person, and you're expecting, you know, some conversation back and forth stuff in a public like recruitment chat channel for a US based corporation, you'd be out of luck, you know, because it's completely off the time zone. So, you know, that's understandable.
Yeah.
But like at least if you're in that kind of situation, or if your corporation is leaned heavily into one specific time zone, then I would say make it known and apparent in the message of the day in the channel that you are very specifically a specific time zone corporation.
I mean, there's that, but I would also add that, and I can't speak for everyone here, you know, full admittance, but a lot of people just won't talk in recruitment chats because you don't know who's in there.
Well, yeah, but like you expect the recruiters to be keeping an eye on that chat. Like I don't expect like just regular Corp members to be in that chatting and stuff like that, because like you have corporation chat and you have alliance chat, and if you're not into chatting in game in those channels, then you've also got, you know, the other channels that you have, say for example in Discord, like, you know, like modern Eve corporations have. So there is that.
I mean,
yeah. But I would
know how
at least
4S do it.
expect.
Do they have a Discord?
Sorry?
Do 4S have a
4S?
Discord? Yeah.
I mean, I would expect that they would. Like, it's not a difficult thing to do. It doesn't require you to sort of, you know, to throw money at servers in order to do so.
Sorry, phone's going.
I mean,
my thought is like,
yeah.
sorry. My thought is like, a lot of the time I see people just using Discord for recruitment now. You just drop into their Corp Discord and just chat in public there. I don't quite know what went on here, but it's weird. I don't know.
It is
the game
a little
is
bit
in a
old.
weird spot.
It is a little bit old hat to sort of like, you know, go into an open recruitment channel in game and chat and expect sort of like stuff like, to some degree, you know. But unless you're actually specifically saying and say like a message of the day, you know, join our, you know, corporation Discord channel and chat there, then yeah, you kind of then you expect to sort of chat in a open chat channel in game and expect a reply, at least from, you know, corp recruiters, right?
Yes, and I would say that's probably, you know, I don't even know what I was trying to say there, but yeah, if there wasn't a join our Discord there, I can understand I tried talking in here and no one responded.
I mean, to be fair, that was probably from what I got from the video. I think that was kind of like her main gripe about the recruitment process. Because you can't say like, oh, I had to, you know, I had to give them an API, you know, in order to join. Like, well, no shit. Like, this
welcome
is
to Eve.
Welcome to nullsec. Welcome to Eve, right? You know, and there's a lot of things, you know, a lot of third party kind of services and stuff. Yeah, welcome to a leading null block. Like, you know, if it's some random fringe group kind of thing. Okay.
I feel in some respects we might be pretty top heavy on old services.
Well, you're top heavy on old services when it comes to goons, because goons run a lot of heavy coordinated fleets, and that requires a lot of bandwidth for people to be on the same, you know, comms server.
Yes.
You know, this is the reason why there's a specific reason why Goonswarm runs Mumble, right? And Mumble is one of those.
Mumble is the one that makes sense.
Yeah.
IRC is like, ads old. Like, I'm sure there's a reason for it, but geez.
IRC is just so you have clients in every single kind of potential, any and every single device, right? But then again, you can say that like Discord. Yeah, but then you can, exactly.
But security on Discord is non-existent.
There is. There's kind of that. I don't know. I maybe like advanced levels of security, maybe, but like, and it's been fine with running a lot of things on Discord. So I would say that it's not like it's non-existent, but there is, there's additional levels of security, I guess. Running an IRC client with Pigeon and stuff like that, right?
So the problem with Discord isn't keeping people out who you want to keep out. The problem is with people getting their accounts compromised, right? Which happens a lot.
Even when they've got
just if somebody
especially
is
when they have two FA.
If somebody is poking you who have no idea who it is, and they're offering you some random thing by just clicking on something, just fucking don't do it. Like it doesn't take. It's not fucking rocket science. It's just don't be a fucking dumbass.
If it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
I mean, I don't know any other game that tees you up like better in terms of understanding that, if it sounds too good to be true, it is probably too good to be true, than, spending a few years playing EVE Online, especially in high sec, where you kind of go, oh wow, I can double ISK? Quick, let me send all my ISK. Oh, wait, now I don't have any ISK and the guy's not giving me ISK. Well, that's a life lesson right there, right? So many different things in EVE, in the experience of interacting with other people in EVE, is a life lesson as to how, people can take advantage of you. And yeah, fair enough, that may, make it seem that, people are shitty in general, but you also find, very much in EVE Online as well as in life, that you will find large groups of people who are actually really fucking awesome.
So I just want to clarify something. Jado has mentioned that the listed on the third-party griping list were Discord. Was that from the video maker?
I think so, and I think it was just basically, not non-utilization of Discord, I guess, because Discord,
which is
with the way he writes it,
true.
sounds the way he writes it makes it sound like it was the use of Discord.
What I got
because
from
which almost every
Corp
requires, and other things even solo players should use, which is right. I mean, even if you're a solo player, you should have Discord. Personally, like depending on the space you're in, you've got Praise Bob, you've got the low sec Discords, you've got whatever for null probably, and you've probably got some rando high sec shit.
I mean,
You forgot the Anger Games Discord. Come on.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm supposed to shield that, aren't I, Soft? Given
I need to download the EVE client specifically for that. So yeah, something I have to do, and we need.
Yes,
I need to talk about some Hunger Game stuff with you, Soft, at some point.
I mean, you actually need to re-download the EVE client twice.
Oh yeah, fuck. I need to download. Yeah,
it's
a different one for different thing for Thunderdome as well.
Oh,
it's a good fucking point. Well.
It's a different branch. Yeah. You don't need to re-download everything.
So I'm just trying to get to like the gist of what I was gonna say a minute ago. Quick. I feel we are as an entity in a weird spot with Discord. Corps have it. SIGs have it.
Yeah. Alliance
random
as a whole doesn't.
Groups have it, but then the Alliance folds onto IRC, and it's just like, can we pick one and stick with it?
Well, it's not IRC, it's XMPP, but
XMPP. Sorry, in Pigeon, yeah. You get my gist, though. It's everything is very fragmented, and I think if there's a valid complaint to be made in there, it's the fragmentation.
Yeah, but I got the impression when I was very heavily sort of involved in coalition activities, that the experience of being in in coalition with goons was that you may have your social kind of groupings that you prefer inside of the Imperium, whether that be your corporation, whether that be sort of like a wider thing as alliance and alliance groups and stuff, or whether that's like specific interest groups or sigs. But well, let's not go before we get to sigs. Like just general sort of social interest groups like inside of the Imperium. But like it very much felt that unlike other alliances, unlike other coalitions, that Goonswarm did a lot of work in actually breaking down the barriers between different alliances and different corporations, and just pushing people into social and sort of like event specific groups like SIGs. And I thought that was always really, really good, because that kind of you broke that kind of barrier of like, oh, you're in a different alliance. And like, no, let's not think of they're in a different alliance. We're all Imperium.
Yeah.
I
mean, when
we just like bombing stuff, or we just like going around in Euro time zone kind of stuff, or we like going and fucking with people in Black Ops, that kind of stuff, right? So and I always thought that was really good strength.
It's a really weird one. Like, you're not wrong. The whole alliances thing is kind of redundant internally. I mean, it's there for certain stuff, but
I don't
think...
when
I was with A's back in Bastion, I could still join all the same SIGs and squads for the most part. I think maybe one or two exceptions.
Yeah, I loved like, strangely enough, I loved flying bombers with boat. Like, even though it was almost certain death, it was a fucking laugh, and we would more often than likely get a whole bunch of kills. Maybe a few. We might tag a few sort of friendlies on the way, but that happens when you're bombing stuff. Like, it's just part of the course, right? But all sorts of different SIGs, and they're a lot of fun.
I have to admit here, I have never been on a boat bomber fleet.
Oof.
It's definitely more chaotic than a K-color bombing fleet. Way more chaotic, but more fun.
Think about
in that kind
at
of
the
way.
time I was active. What was I doing most of the time?
You were FCing, so you
Macarios.
You can't beat,
or bombers yourself. Yeah.
I would say that, like, one of the things that I thought was a little bit somewhat limiting, and I don't see this as like a negative for goons in any way, shape, or form, but like, to some degree, the way that the sort of mumble setup and structure and that kind of thing, you can't be part of multiple fleets at the same time. Whereas I know the way that in its setup, I can be part of like 3 different fleets and be on the same comms for all 3 different fleets at the same time, because there's that comm discipline in combined fleet comms. Whereas the last time I flew sort of Goonswarm fleets or Imperium fleets kind of thing, there was that breakup of comms unless you were in a command channel, right?
Yes and no.
It kind of depends on what FC.
I mean that. Yeah.
Granted, I haven't been on Mumble for a year because I've been mostly inactive.
Get logged in. Get playing.
I'm already doing enough on Thunderdome. Okay, I don't need TQ as well. But it was a huge difference if you had Azure, for example, compared to Apple. Like, go on an Apple pair fleet, and it is super quiet, right?
Yeah. But you being in that comm channel for that fleet means that you can't be in the comm channel for a different fleet. Like, and
Not
yeah, fair enough. It's
technically true.
not technically true.
There
can
are
have
ways to
multiple
have
instances of mumble.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although
okay.
I believe that's not going to be a thing anymore. Something. I don't know. I don't know how Mumble works now. I thought something had changed, but I believe there's ways around it with like listen to channel.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, I stand corrected there, but like, yeah.
I'm not sure if you can be connected to the same server twice.
You can, because there's always been people using alts to do what is it, like main fleet, and then have something in.
Well, yeah, if you're actually a member of Goonswarm, yeah, you can do that because your alts will be members of Goonswarm, so you can kind of do that.
It's just secondary clients.
I always thought that like alts, you shouldn't, that it was frowned upon to have alts.
No, it's
old accounts
banned.
signed up.
It's banned to have an old account.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not quite on about that. I'm on about it's an account or client under the same name with just a tag at the end of it with Apple or something like that. All it is people running something like that, is what I understood before. So they could do a cap fleet while doing main fleet or some shit.
I mean, if it's doable, then I stand corrected for sure. But it isn't exactly that well documented. Let's put it that way.
If we stop having caps and subcaps in the same comms, then that takes away the fun of fucking with the spice. Do you know how much fun it is to utter the words "dreads undock" when you know exactly that you have 0 dreads? And see the enemy fleet freaking out on the other end?
I mean, that is a good one.
I've done that so many times.
Wait, they got dreads? Where the fuck do they get dreads from? Fuck. Running around with their fucking hairs on fire. Like, oh shit.
I mean, it works until you're someone like Provi, who, yeah, they knew you weren't dropping dreads.
I mean, if you're Snuff, if you're listening to Snuff comms and they say dreads on dock, then like that's just fucking part of the course. They always have dreads. Like,
doesn't mean they're coming for you.
Doesn't technically mean that they're coming for you specifically, but like, yeah, I mean, has there been an organization that has more dread alts than Snuff? Like, I'm not entirely certain.
Fuck knows. I mean, if there's anyone that beats it, it might be us.
Yeah.
Nah, we have Titan alts, not Dread alts.
It used to have Titan alts. The meta has changed, so.
I'm pretty sure we still have a lot of Titan alts.
Yeah, we still have them, but the meta's changed. They're probably now flying dreads as well.
Faction dreads.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, fuck that. But right, what else was there on this video?
Is one of
that's what we were talking about.
So yeah, that was kind of like one of the gripes for sure, and part of one of the sort of like one of my specific gripes in terms of like, you know, combined fleet operations. But like, I think one of the other ones was like some of the other stuff was just sort of a little bit of like misunderstanding some stuff. You know, like, especially with regards to the image, right? Like the old image of Goonswarm, etc., and it's like, yeah, it's like the evil of the game, and it's like that's not very much. That's not something that, you know, somebody dreamed up in Goonswarm and was like, yes, this is what we shall do. It was literally a reaction to how, you know, the fucking historical enemies of Goons have seen, Goonswarm essentially. They're basically sort of. Well, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, Bob have always kind of looked at Goonswarm as basically being, the fucking dirt on the heel of the boot of Bob kind of thing, and basically tried to run a campaign of basically saying that goons are basically terrible people, and Mitani just decided, you know what, if you're gonna fucking do that, we're just gonna lean into it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna paint us that way, then we'll just fucking go full throttle into that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's how that worked.
Oh, what's Mancheater trying to say? Shakes fist at auto mod. What did he put? I wonder if it's what I think.
He's just talking about Titan.
Oh, okay. Wait, what? Why is Titan auto modded?
No, it was Tit.
Fuck's sakes. Of course it is.
Really, Americans? Really?
Yeah.
Yes, we hate those birds.
Oh, you.
But yeah, so if you've always wondered, why is Goonswarm always, leaned in or always, been utilizing or using that sort of we're the big, the boogeymen or the sort of the evil of Eve. It's because Goonswarm were painted as being the evil of Eve Online.
Well, it's not just that though.
And just leaned into it.
There is another aspect to it. Eve, because when goons talk about Eve history, we don't paint ourselves as the bad guys.
No, you guys don't.
Right. Okay. So, but
and having been on the other side of the fence and actually gone and experienced both sides of it, I can see the propaganda kind of gameplay happening. I can tell you right now that there is a lot more goodwill, a lot more kind of chill people, and less toxicity and blaming people for fuck ups inside of Imperium and inside of Goons versus outside.
Right, but the thing is that an objective view of Eve history shows that, generally speaking, things happen two ways. They either happen because there's this kind of slow creeping, all right, nobody's stopping this from happening, and people are just doing this a little bit at a time, and this a little bit at a time, and suddenly something happened. Like when Razor accidentally toppled, what was it, Intrepid Crossing?
That was hilarious.
Right. But that's the sort of nobody's really paying attention, and
it was they. And so the thing about that is they poked us, and then we poked them, and we expected them to be able to actually at least form a defense, but they were a paper tiger.
But then they just and then there's the somebody does something to make something happen.
Yeah.
And usually after a whole lot of the shit just happened and nobody quite realized, in a lot of these situations, one person does one thing too many, and then Mittens would turn around to be like, no, and Goons would make things happen.
Yeah.
And
sometimes that was sort of a society or like a community based thing in the game, and sometimes it was CCP not listening, and Goons literally having to do something.
Or CCP would change something, and for economic reasons, Mitten would decide, well, no, we're going to go invade Tesla.
Yeah, that's what the Fountain War was. It was the changing of moons and stuff, right?
Right, but so you've got Goons as initial actor in a lot of these situations. And if you look at the narrative structure of most stories, your initial actor is never the hero. The hero is reacting because there's oppression, there's a monster, there's the big villain. The guy who's actually pushing his agenda in most stories is the big villain. The guy, look at Star Wars. The guy actually making things happen is Tarkin. He's the guy who's now got his Death Star operational. Great. He sent Vader after Leia. Great. He goes and he blows up Alderaan. He's doing things. Everybody else is reacting.
Yeah.
So that's going to naturally put goons in you're the villains here. And the villains are always the most interesting characters anyway.
Yeah.
Now, that said, there have been dark moments in the history of the Imperium or CFC.
I would say that there have been
that have definitely added the bad to the name.
But it's not like you know, when you look at the amount of people in like Goon, sort of the amount of people in other organizations, other groups and stuff, like I don't think there's a disproportionate amount of bad shit that happens in Goons compared to the rest of like the Eve kind of community. Like, I mean, think of the fucking bonus room, for example. Like that was fucking terrible. Like think of the, you know, some of the actual like investigations that like even Imperium News and Imperium have helped out with in terms of actually.
Yeah, no, there's definitely been far worse than us in Eve, and we have had episodes of very much being the good guys, like, you know, Scooter McCabe taking the Goon Berets out to get those newbies out of that really shitty fucking labor.
Oh, that was
but yeah, no, and we have definitely had our actual bad actor moments. It happens.
Yeah.
Everybody fucks up.
I mean, I remember like early on in like when I was playing Eve, like Jihadi Swarm, like that just seemed like next level poor taste, to the point where I was like, you know, I genuinely had questions as to whether this was actually some kind of, you know, some kind of Al Qaeda recruitment kind of thing going on.
There have been
like no, genuinely, because you don't know this until you actually like in these sorts of locations and know people. But like if you're like a fairly new player and you're seeing this sort of stuff, you are there sort of like second guessing and thinking like, is this actually like jihadists trying to recruit people through this game? Like,
I don't disagree. It's just the absurdity of it. Not in a good way that I was mainly laughing at there. Like,
definitely.
When you actually know what's going on and it's just a bunch of people that are just RPing with the poorest of fucking tastes, then it's like, you know, fucking
what the fuck,
lol.
Oh, okay.
You know, but like
Eric's twitching. He's not actually dead there. Just watching him completely not moving on screen.
Just look at him there, like.
But yeah, we've had our poor tastes, kind of like, you know, from you know, Imperium and Goonswarm kind of perspective, you know, and some genuinely terrible fucking shit, associations and all that. But I don't think
Eric,
it's.
If you said something there, you are muted.
I did not say something. I
don't think it's
muted
disproportionately weighted towards Goonswarm in any way, shape, or form.
No. We're just more gleeful about it when we do it. Like when people call goons villains, goons' response is to laugh and go, "That's right."
Yep.
Because, you know, why not?
How can we fuck your game up or fuck your experience up more?
You want to call us bad guys? We'll be bad to you.
Mm-hmm. And I think what was the other thing? There was another aspect of the image sort of thing. It wasn't specifically Goonswarm, but like it was something that I caught like in conversation that was in the conversation that was happening on the video anyway, was the idea of democracy, or the idea of democratic or a democratic kind of player group in Eve, and that there's not really any democracy in Eve. It's all, and it's an age-old thing, right? We know what's up. You know, maybe people new to the game or people who haven't really kind of, gone to different groups realize that the democracy is the freedom of being able to go to leave a corporation and go to a different corporation. Like, you have free will there. There's nobody basically saying, there's nobody locking you into a corporation. You can leave a corporation whenever you want, right?
The democratic nature of Eve lies in membership counts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And to say that, exactly. And to say that, dictatorships, to talk about leadership in EVE Online organizations as dictatorships in a sort of in a negative connotation, it is, I think, it is kind of incorrect, right?
I don't. Okay, how do I put this?
Because it's not actual dictatorships. It's just, if you're a good leader, people will stick with you. If you're a bad leader, people will fucking go somewhere else.
Yeah, but I would also add that I don't think any of it is.
Even in small, it is kind of a democracy, right? Because you elect what FC you fly with.
Yeah,
that's the voting with your feet part, right?
Yeah,
you fly with the people you like. You refuse to go on the fleet to those you don't.
There's been many times where I've gone oh, so and so is putting a fleet up. Yeah, that's a pass for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had FCs I don't get along with. I'm sure when I was FCing, what? No, Soph, you're fine actually. I have had FCs be extremely rude. I've had FCs that are extremely polite. I've had, and I will say this one wasn't.
Have you ever had an FC yell at people?
Yes, and that's what I was exactly about to get to. And it wasn't a good yelling. It was a I remember it was full on losing their shit.
I remember in Mostly Harmless, this is getting way the fuck back, right? But I remember Mostly Harmless that we would have the Alliance would put the taxes to 100% in when we were doing strat ops and stuff. But we had this one FC who would basically go around to every single system that was known for PvE in the space that we occupied, and would literally yell and threaten people who weren't in fleet if it was a strat op. Like next level fucking toxic shit. That stuff, you shouldn't, I mean, you can kind of understand that, it's a strat up, it's, you're defending your space, but at the end of the day, it's a fucking game. We're playing a game to fucking chill and to relax and to enjoy ourselves. You don't want somebody thinking that they're a fucking miniature Napoleon going around fucking, shouting at you.
Yeah. I mean, this is. I've had issues with it in a couple of groups before, and it was shit. You just refuse to listen to what anyone suggests.
Yeah. I swear to God, if we undock with just 2 fucking dictators, I'm killing every single motherfucking one of you.
That's right.
I mean, I'm not even on about that. Moments in Provi. I think there needs to be some whole book.
Oh God!
A lot of people there are great, right? I'm going to caveat that in the same way that I caveat Imperium. A lot of people there that I knew were great, but you got the odd name here and there that were utter assholes.
I have heard. All right, I'm going to admit something to you guys. And obviously, since it's on the stream, this means I'm going to basically admit it to fucking everybody. All right. And it's not something I'm proud of, and it's not something I really enjoy saying, but I have to give credit where it's due. Okay. I have heard some really, really terrible shit I've heard some really terrible SoundCloud recordings. The whole if we undock without dictors thing, like, ProGod was very clearly stressed and out of line, and just it was too much. All right. About a couple, now I guess it's a little bit more than 2 months ago. Somebody came to me with a problem, and obviously I'm no longer part of Goon leadership, but I still have access to certain channels. And I went in and basically flipped tables at people and yelled and was totally a dick and out of line. And one of the people that I was incredibly obnoxious to in the process of all this was ProGod. And I realized it afterwards, and someone who will remain smugly aware of it pointed it out to me, and I was not in the mood to listen. But like a week later, after I had time to cool down and reflect on it, I had to admit they were right. So I came in and I apologized. All right. And to his credit, ProGod was real chill about it and was like, no, it's all good, man. So even the guys who have been the total dicks when they're in bad situations, they're not necessarily total dicks all the time. And I gotta say, overall, and maybe this is because he's in a better environment in Eve now. I don't know. I have not been in the other groups that he has been in, but like these days, at the very least, ProGod is a very cool, very nice guy. So,
I mean, I think it can be the environment.
God,
like
that hurts to say.
I've experienced some of the other side, like more in the sort of realms of the Black Legion, white noise, that kind of grouping, that sort of thing, were very, leadership very, I mean, obviously Black Legion, it was very sort of like ego driven, right? Leadership driven, ego driven, performance driven. And if there was a fuck up, it was not uncommon in any way, shape, or form that the clear person who fucked up would, basically point at somebody else and be like, you're the guy who fucked up, and expect that the people who saw that particular FC as like a god FC or as a particularly strong leader to basically just ignore the actual facts and just go with the propaganda. And that to me was always pretty wrong, because that was always I saw that as like the most pure form of toxicity.
Yeah, I mean, when you fuck up, own it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I will say, and this is possibly a controversial one, and it goes back to what you said, horrendous sort of flipping tables. Sometimes it's just needed.
Sometimes it is needed, but when it's needed, it needs to be aimed correctly.
Yes.
And me flipping tables at ProGod and some others was not helpful. It was not right. It wasn't their fault, and I was blaming them. And it's fuck up.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's needed all the time. It's just sometimes shit has hit a point where a table has to flip for someone to realize they're fucking up.
Sometimes, yeah. But as Arinda said, directed correctly is the best way in that. But also, owning up to you being to being a cunt to other people, like is a good thing as well. Like, owning up to your mistakes is like, and that's one of the other things that I find, like, you'll see this sort of represented in the ways that like people who you aspire to act like.
All right.
I have a question.
I see this in.
Occurred to me, Mac. The phrase that
Are we
occurred
allowed?
to me, Mac, is that owning up to your own mistakes is part of the suckiest thing anyone can have to do.
But yeah, this is true, horrendous. But it is the one of the surest ways of growing as an adult.
I have a question.
Right,
Are we allowed
Right?
to-
Is
are
it
we-
not? Like,
it is.
are we-
It is.
learning
But
from
you know,
learning
basically,
that you fucked up and learning that you need to, that you need to improve.
right?
It
Yeah,
is
no, totally.
part and
But
parcel
just,
of being an adult.
but
Hey,
just,
are we
just the
allowed to
idea
say
that-
the C word?
Just the
Just
idea
asking
that
for a friend.
owning up to your own mistakes and every other piece of adulthood is basically, God, that sucks.
Yeah, that is true.
Like you never hear about, yeah, no, I was out drinking. God, it's great to be an adult. No.
But that's because it comes with consequences, right? Whereas if you're a kid and you're still learning that kind of stuff, you're
Right,
allowed
exactly.
to learn you're allowed to make mistakes,
Exactly.
and people forgive you because you're still learning this shit, right? That's the difference. I apologize, Cheetah.
Adulting sucks, and no one should have to do it. That's the lesson for the. That's the lesson for Push to Talk this week, folks. Adulting sucks, and no one should have to do it. But we do.
We might as well quit. I mean, we're 2 minutes over, but we should
that was all of our one last thing.
Yeah. All of it. All of it.
I think we'll end it there. Yeah.
Also,
All
a
of it.
giant thank you to Caleb.
Thank you, Caleb.
Giant, thank you. Yeah. Coming through with Lego
Damn right.
like a boss.
So just in summary, it cost you $142 to get 3 Lego bricks or 4, one of those, right? Or 6.
No, not at all.
By the way, the Lego bricks themselves cost $1. All the rest of that was just shipping.
$250. Less than $250 for the bricks I need, and we're gonna find out how much the shipping is, but I do not expect it to be much. But having Lego do it adds on a $7 surcharge, and they take 28 fucking business days to do it. Meanwhile,
Christ.
Caleb can get those same parts from the same place in freaking 4 days.
Just saying.
Insane.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Mm-hmm.
we'll be back next weekend. Same bad time. Same
You have a
bad
meta show
place.
as well, so.
You have a meta show today. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yay.
That's right. Somebody needs to sing for Brisk the Zestfully Clean, for Zest Soap today during the meta show. Either that
We've come full circle. We've come full circle on that loop.
hold it. Oh, even better. This is for Brisk. If Mrs. Brisk comes on and they recreate the Irish Spring soap commercial together, that would be amazing. That's it.
Yep.
You guys have a great weekend. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Soth, McLeod, Horrendous. It was fabulous. And we'll be back next week. All right, we're out of here. Bye.
See ya.